There's no doubt that Pope Francis has been at odds with conservative factions within the Catholic Church. They've seen that the Pope hasn't taken a stand against bishops blessing same-sex unions, or his efforts to soften standards on remarried Catholics participating in the Eucharist. This is seen as a move to push a modernist agenda on the Church and to bring it more into line with progressive, secular society. One of the loudest critics of this agenda has been Bishop Athanasius Schneider, who serves as the auxiliary bishop of Astana in Kazakhstan. Schneider has a fascinating backstory that has influenced his current efforts to seek traditionalism within the Church. Let's take a look at his upbringing and some of the harsh criticisms that he's leveled at Pope Francis. Athanasius Schneider was born in the Kyrgyz Soviet Socialist Republic in 1961. His parents were ethnic German settlers who lived along the northern coast of the Black Sea in the Russian Empire. His family was closely involved with the underground church. As a boy, Schneider and his 3 siblings would attend clandestine masses with their parents, often traveling 60 miles from the family's home, taking the first train in the morning under the cover of darkness and returning with the last train at night. Due to the great distance, infrequent visits by the clergy, and crackdowns by the Soviet authorities, they were able to make the trip only once a month. Later on in life, Schneider joined the Canons Regular of the Holy Cross of Coimbra, a Roman Catholic religious order. He was ordained a priest on March 25, 1990, and spent several years as a priest in Brazil before returning to Central Asia. On June 2, 2006, he was consecrated a bishop at the altar of the chair of St. Peter in the Vatican. In 2011, he was transferred to the position of auxiliary bishop in the Archdiocese of Astana. Schneider speaks German, Russian, Portuguese, Spanish, English, French, and Italian, and he reads Latin and ancient Greek. Schneider is a strong promoter of the Tridentine Mass, or the traditional Latin Mass, the form of the Mass commonly offered in the Church for centuries, but which largely fell out of use following the liberalizing reforms of the Second Vatican Council. He rebuked priests for using a careless and superficial, almost an entertainment style of liturgy, adding that liturgy must be conducted with beauty and reverence. According to Schneider, you cannot change the liturgy by the tastes of the time. The liturgy is timeless. Schneider criticized a 2021 apostolic letter issued by Pope Francis, which placed restrictions on the Tridentine Mass. He characterized it as an attack on the Church's traditions. Additionally, Schneider supports the liturgical tradition of receiving Holy Communion on the tongue while kneeling, which he explains as a sign of love for the body and blood of Jesus. He stated, "The awareness of the greatness of the Eucharistic mystery is demonstrated in a special way by the manner in which the body of the Lord is distributed and received." Schneider has upheld the traditional teaching of the Catholic Church that divorce and remarriage constitutes the mortal sin of adultery, which condition renders one ineligible to receive Holy Communion. In a 2014 interview, Schneider said that calls to change this practice came from anti-Christian media. He suggested this was a false concept of mercy, saying, "It is comparable to a doctor who gives a diabetic patient sugar, although he knows it will kill him." In 2016, Pope Francis released an apostolic exhortation which seemed to allow divorced and civilly remarried persons to take the Eucharist under some circumstances, and this was put into practice by some bishops, arousing intense controversy. Schneider strongly criticized this, asserting that the perennial teaching is more powerful and surer than the discordant voice and practice of admitting unrepentant adulterers to Holy Communion. In 2019, Schneider, along with Cardinal Raymond Leo Burke and others, published a 40-point Declaration of Truths claiming to reaffirm traditional church teaching. The authors wrote that such a declaration was necessary in a time of almost universal doctrinal confusion and disorientation. Specific passages in the declaration implicitly reply to writings of Pope Francis. The declaration states that the religion born of faith in Jesus Christ is the only religion positively willed by God, seemingly alluding to a document signed by Pope Francis, which stated that the diversity of religions is willed by God. Following recent changes to the Catechism of the Catholic Church to oppose capital punishment, the declaration states that the Church did not err in teaching that civil authorities may lawfully exercise capital punishment when it is truly necessary and to preserve the just order of societies.